profound experience of those short days returns from time to time, and it is clear for me now as I think about the nature of this human experience of ours, and the fact that one of the most defining, demanding aspects of being engaged in the human experience is our struggle, our challenge, and our interactions with money. I saw again, as I had seen many times before, but this time even more clearly, that money, an arena of life that so hooks and seduces us, can be our greatest ally in our own transformation and the transformation of the world in which we live. Money travels everywhere, crosses all boundaries, languages, and cultures. Money, like water, ripples at some level through every life and place. It can carry our love or our fear. It can flood some of us such that we drown in a toxic sense of power over others. It can nourish and water the principles of freedom, community, and sharing. Money can affirm life, or it can be used to demean, diminish, or destroy it. It is neither evil nor good. It is an instrument. We invented it, and it belongs squarely in the human experience, but it can be used and merged with the longings and passions of our soul. The you and me world already exists. It was in the late 1970s when I heard Buckminster Fuller describe his version of a you and me world, where we all know and live the truth that there is enough for everyone with no one left out. At that time, it was already a realistic expectation because, as he pointed out, there was really enough food in the world, enough resources to take care of everyone. The challenge, he said, was that all our structures and systems, politics, government, healthcare, education, economics, and especially our money system, had been designed around scarcity, around the belief that there wasn't enough for everyone, and that someone would be left out. Bucky predicted that it could take 25 to 50 years for those now inaccurate systems and structures built on the belief in scarcity, a you or me world paradigm, to crumble. He warned that it might be upsetting, confusing, even cataclysmic, but that when the transformation takes place, a new world will have been born, a world in which we treasure that there is enough, steward it wisely, and live in a context of sufficiency and prosperity for all, a paradigm of you and me. It is a cataclysmic, scary time, and money is somewhere behind or under or running through virtually every conflict, disaster, and crisis around the world and every facet of our own lives. It is an especially tense and challenging time in our lives with money. We worry about losing our jobs and being unable to find new ones in a shrinking job market and a depressed economy. We worry whether we'll have enough money to be able to keep our homes or feed, clothe, and educate our children as we would wish. Whether we'll have enough money for retirement. We worry about our country investing lives and money in war. We worry about terrorism close to home, and at the same time about the spiraling costs of increased security measures at every turn, not necessarily feeling safer as a result. In many ways, it is worse than we want to think. Terrorism, war, violence, revenge, and retribution plague our planet. Species are going extinct at an unprecedented rate. Burning of fossil fuels is destabilizing the world's climate. The apparent gap between those with affluent resources and those with little or none seems to be widening mercilessly. Corruption and greed seem rampant and growing, even among those who already have the inordinate amounts of money, resources, power, and privilege. At the same time, it's better than we could hope. Hundreds of millions of people are at work, awake to the challenges and tackling them at every level. Countless organizations and initiatives have sprung up throughout the world, addressing the basic needs of all humanity and all life. Civil society and citizens Civil society and citizens' action in every country on earth are more vibrant, emergent, and active than ever before in history. The internet connects billions of us instantly, and we are experiencing our interconnectedness in potent and practical ways that make possible unprecedented cooperation and collaborations. The communications explosion has awakened our natural relatedness to one another and the awareness that the fact that we're interconnected. It has also facilitated a truly global conversation on important issues that affect us all. Ecological awareness and consciousness permeates every nation, village, institution, and population around the globe. We are awakening to human rights and gender equity, and especially the power and the emergence of women and women's voices and leadership as resources in every aspect of society. More than 2/3 of the world's people live under some form of democratic government, giving an unprecedented percentage of the human race, including women and people of color, a voice in the determination of their future. A surge of spirituality worldwide is bringing spirit more visibly into daily life, the workplace, the family, and the conversation for greater wisdom in nearly every setting where people are deeply grappling with how to live and be. More religious communities are recognizing the gift of diversity and teaching respect for other faiths. The Pachamama Alliance and other organizations and collaborators are effectively preserving primary rainforest lands and their inhabitants. As a result, indigenous people have begun to emerge as a respected voice, bringing ancient wisdom rooted in the laws of the natural world into conferences and councils of global decision makers. Alternative and complementary medicine has surged in popularity and acceptance in the United States, opening the doors to newfound insights from traditions and practices in healing throughout the world. In many countries, alternative and complementary currencies, ranging from bartering to sophisticated economic exchanges of resources, are enabling people to share with one another outside the traditional money system. The Hunger Project and its philosophy, which was ridiculed 25 years ago, has become the model for enlightened philanthropy and programs that foster self-sufficiency and self-reliance and enable people to be the authors of their own development. The tragic hunger statistics of 1977, 41,000 deaths a day, have been cut in half to fewer than 20,000 a day, and those numbers continue to go down steadily even as the world's population goes up. Progress is being made. Large oil companies such as Shell and British Petroleum have renamed themselves energy companies and have targeted to be out of the fossil fuel business and fully in the renewable energy business within 30 years. Young global activist organizations such as Free the Children and Youth for Environmental Sanity, Pioneers of Change, and hundreds of other organizations are inspiring and mobilizing young people worldwide to bring a new kind of thinking and leadership to the challenge we face. As Paul Ray and Sherry Anderson say in their seminal book, The Cultural Creatives, How 50 Million People Can Change the World, many millions of people have taken on a whole new worldview, a major development in our civilization. Changing a worldview literally means that what you think is real, changes in values, your fundamental life priorities, changes in lifestyle, the way you spend your time and money, and changes in livelihood, how you make that money in the first place. This is not a time of mere change. This is a time of transformation. And transformation comes not out of scarcity, but out of the context of possibility, responsibility, and sufficiency. To quote the visionary ontological thinker Werner Erhard, transformation does not negate what has gone before, rather, it fulfills it. Creating the context of a world that works for everyone is not just another step forward in human history, it is the context out of which our history will begin to make sense. In the synthesis dialogues with His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, as we talked about the obstacles and challenges, opportunities and possibilities that present themselves in the different arenas in which each worked, the nature of our work, the work of everybody everywhere, became clear to me. As a colleague of mine has said, the job of our time is to hospice the death of the old unsustainable systems and structures and to midwife the birth of new sustainable systems and new ways of being. To hospice those systems that have reached their limits, and are unsustainable is not to kill them, but with some compassion and love to witness their disintegration, and then to midwife with compassion and love the development and creation of new structures, systems, contexts, and constructs that support and empower sustainable ways of being. These ways are based in the reality and understanding of a world in which there is enough, in which we can all thrive, not each at the other's expense, but in collaboration and cooperation. Our relationship with money can be the place where this transformation begins for each of us. We can embrace money and soul in the same moment and actively coexist with our money. As Alan Slifka, professional investor, philanthropist, and friend of mine puts it, it's a matter of merging our tangible assets with our intangible assets. There's an opportunity to use money in a wholly different way if we have the courage to see the possibilities. My journey into money and soul. In service of a commitment bigger than any I ever thought I would make, my journey in fundraising and activism has taken me far and wide culturally, but it has also taken me deep into my own relationship with life. This arena of my relationship with money, and with people who are dealing with their own relationship with money, has been a place where I have come to understand some of the universal truths about money. I'm moved by the struggle we all have with money. I now see that this arena in which we brush up against the hard realities of life can be the place where we develop a kind of spiritual practice in which we use the money that comes to us as an instrument of our intention and integrity. When I made that first contribution to the Hunger Project, it realigned my priorities. My financial life started to be more in alignment with my deep sense of self and soul. I began to have an experience of prosperity that was unrelated to any quantity of money or acquisitions. I could feel this alignment within myself, and I had done